Today marks 1126th day sharing lessons I learned and continue to learn with all of you. My hope that these insights will inspire you, support your dreams, help achieve your goals, and really empower you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about benefit of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt. I think that is a very powerful statement. Benefit of the doubt. Because if you actually don't use benefit of the doubt, if you really go very, very fast into judgments, that could lead very, very bad things. The things that you do not want. But what could lead to? Lead missed opportunities. Because if you prejudge opportunities that someone offered you, and you prejudge other person, maybe you think that that person is not for here, maybe it's that person to here to scam you, maybe take advantage of you. If you prejudge and you not give benefit of the doubt, you'll not really do enough research, maybe you'll miss opportunities. There's a lot of things. It could be removed trust, maybe destroyed relationships if you don't have benefit of the doubt, because a lot of times people make mistakes and we assume their intentions. We prejudge their intentions. And sometimes people do bad things because something bad happened. And now when we do not have a benefit of the doubt, when we do not use that increases stress as well. Because you might think that someone will take advantage of us, but if you actually give benefit of doubt and really try to understand fully, that potentially could take away all the stress that potentially could come because you're just thinking about the worst part. And of course, when you have the benefit of doubt, you don't feel isolated because there are so many people who are here to support you, help you, and not to take advantage of you. So today we'll share today is a very, very simple topic. Today we'll share seven more things about really what benefit of the doubt does to us. What it improves. It's a very, very, very important thing. I think I never spoke about benefit of the doubt, but I think that's a very powerful tool when you actually use for the good things. So that means that first one promotes trust. I think that when you have a doubt with someone, but you really give that benefit of doubt and really try to fully understand where a person is coming from, showing confidence in other people, showing confidence in yourself, and giving yourself benefit of doubt. I think that when you really give trust to a person, and you really allow them to prove you wrong, because I think that we are at trust lowest part at the moment, because I think that we in the past used to people believe people much, much more, and now it seems that everyone needs to prove that they are good people. In the past, they needed to prove that they are bad people. Now you need to prove that you're a good person. And I think that we need to really change that and we need to give a benefit of the doubt and say, look, I treat you as a good person until you will prove me wrong. Maybe it's more risky, maybe. But I think that it's much, much more powerful when you really give trust. I think that people want to keep that trust. People want to really keep that title of a trustworthy person, and they will act in a trustworthy way. When you do not trust someone, I think that they are more inclined to really live by your title. And I think that it's almost impossible to really not to show with subconscious mind how you feel about other person. I think that is a key. Sometimes you don't feel good about other person, even though that they do not say anything. And I think that's a big part is subconscious communication. I think that our subconscious mind communicates. You don't need to say anything. And I think that when you really, through tonality, through the delivery, how you explain things, I think that we're able to catch that someone doesn't trust us. So benefit of doubt is allowing to really, when you actually give that benefit of doubt, that could improve trust. Number 2 is encourages open communication. Open communication. That means that when you give a benefit of doubt, that means that you really start asking questions. You don't prejudge, because if you don't give benefit of doubt, you really assume, okay, this person did that, so that person is a bad person. I walk away, and I don't speak. I don't ask questions. I don't understand what was the reason behind the things that they did. So when we're able to give benefit of doubt, that means we're going to a person and start asking questions. So I know that this has happened. So could you explain what was happening? Because I think that when we understand that when we come up not as as they made a mistake, as the other person made a mistake, but really coming from understanding there is something happened. There's a problem that occurred. And could you help me understand what exactly happened here in your eyes? So I mean, rather than giving a judgment right away, because when a person feels judged, they will feel defensive. When you really come from okay, there was a problem and how we need to understand that, I think that really brings and encourages open communication. So benefit of the doubt really brings open communication. Number 3 is avoid conflict. Avoid conflict. I think that's very, very easy to jump on a conflict. It's very easy to jump on a judgment. It's very easy because we have patterns of thinking. If a person did this one, that means this is what they're thinking. If the person does this one, that means this is what their intention. That's not always the case. A lot of times not the case. And we a lot of times make wrong assumptions. And we're not supposed to execute on our assumptions. We need to really validate first assumptions. And that means that if you jump on board and assume things and you judge and you right away you start to argue with the person, of course, that will create a lot of conflict. But when you do not assume things, when you do not prejudge, and when you want to validate, they really understand where everything came from, that means that you have a discussion. Open communication, as I share, open communication discussion. And that means that doesn't lead to conflict. So benefit of doubt really creates discussion. Not giving a benefit of doubt creates conflict. And of course, which one's better? Of course, discussion. Number 4, reduces stress. I think that it's when we think that someone is getting out, when we have that victim mentality, that people is after us, that they are trying to get us, that they trying to take over us. Of course, it could potentially lead to stress. Maybe even like you are an employee or business owner and you're thinking that someone is trying to get you or someone tries to really fire you or whatever it is. And giving a benefit of the doubt. Give a benefit of the doubt. For example, if a CEO wants to speak with you, it could be benefit of the doubt. It could be that maybe they want you to really have a conversation to change something that could make you better. Or of course, it could be that you have a stress because you think that they might fire you. And it could be both could be right. But of course, benefit of the doubt is great because it might reduce stress in different reasons. Number 5 is encourages positive behavior. Encourage positive behavior. I love that. Because I think that when we actually, and I mentioned earlier as well, that when you actually give a benefit of the doubt, when you really believe that this person could be an amazing person, and you start to really put on their face that number 10, number 9, because we act according to how we value their person. I think that every single person is supposed to be valued as 10. And we sometimes believe that other person maybe is not as worthy in our lives. But when we give benefit of the doubt, understand what is this person? What is their skills? What are their strengths? What I could give to that person? And then, of course, you start to see that there's so much more out of this person, so much more in this person. And of course, that encourages better behavior with that person. And of course, that behavior could be seen by a lot of people. I think that when you really show how you treat every single person, basically I think that's a lot of times how you treat other people shows how you treat yourself. That means if you're unkind to other people, that means you're unkind to yourself. I think it's impossible to be kind to yourself and be unkind to others. And that means benefit of the doubt could really create positive behavior. Number 6, promotes fairness. Promote fairness. That means we need to understand that we need to really understand that we need evidence. We need the context. So every single time when something happens, we need to understand that we need to validate information. Give a benefit of the doubt what really happened, and then you go and find and validate information. If you do not have validation on the things, that means that you do not assume things. Assumption is the killer of everything. And being able to really have that, giving that benefit of the doubt, will give fairness to people around. And last thing I want to mention is that it really reflects on emotional intelligence. Because the most important part is empathy, patience, being able to understand and put yourself in another person's shoes. Because I think that we assume and prejudge because we thinking of our own perspective. And we're looking in this situation, and just from our own perspective, and from our perspective, it seems that other person made a massive mistake. But when you're actually able to really include in your understanding other person's perspective, you start with, oh yeah, now it's, if I were in your position, probably would be in exactly the same spot, probably would do exactly the same thing. And that creates massive emotional intelligence. Being able to have empathy, being able to put yourself in another person's shoes, and of course, benefit of the doubt allows to do that. So benefit of the doubt is an interesting concept, but I think that is very, very important one, because if you do not give benefit of the doubt, as I said at the beginning, will destroy relationships, will destroy opportunities, will not jump up opportunities. And we always need to know that we need to validate information, we need to understand information, we need to really understand the context before we really do any kind of assumptions or really prejudge anything, because assumptions and judgments a lot of times lead to bad outcomes. So I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.